It's day 6 today, and welcome back to our gratitude challenge coming to you from Youth Strong Cameroon. And today's edition will be hosted, of course, by Maureen and Theodoline, that have been your regular hosts on this journey. And today's reflection invites us to honor the relationships and connections that nourishes our souls and helps us to grow better in different dimensions. Growth may be physical, growth may be spiritual, growth may be emotional, psychological, whatsoever it is. But some of these things can happen to us. We can experience growth even with the connections around us, the people that really matter. And so today, our gratitude is going to focus on our relationships and connections that nourishes us. And so the first part of this broadcast is going to be coming to you from Theodoline. Hi, Theodoline.
Hi, Maureen.
How have you been?
I've been good.
Okay.
I'm feeling good,
All right.
excited, and waiting for us to actually begin.
Okay. And so today we are going to actually focus on the theorist who's called Martin Buber. And the peculiarity about this individual, this theorist, was that he didn't see an individual living as an isolation from the collective. And so to him, he believes that relationships that matter are relationships that connect us to the universal us, connects us to people who are around us in an I-thou relationship, meaning that I am because you are, and you are because I am. And so we want to start looking at our relationships. What are those relationships we have? How are they helping us to grow? What can that relationship offer to you that can be able to make you feel better, loved, accepted, motivated, strengthened, and all of this? So we're going to be looking at all of this today as we travel down the road with Martin Buber.
Yes, Martin Buber has quite a rich information about relationship because in most instances, the normal thing as human, the kind of relationship that we look at most often is I eat, which is not really nurturing because I thou talks about connectivity, universal connection, and working in that light to actually support us become better versions of ourselves.
And so I eat. People may be interested to know a little bit more about the I eat part. We've talked about the I thou, and we're saying that it helps us to connect. So what is the I eat all about?
The I eat is talking about you, looking at you, not even from an inward perspective, but from an outward perspective, looking at you as the only person. That is, I eat can be likened to self centeredness, concentrating on what matters, and what matters to you is what is right. You don't care about how others feel, you don't
Okay.
care about their needs. What matters is you.
So we are talking about egocentric behaviors, or people who are egocentric in nature,
Mm-hmm.
who think only about their own self, me, myself, and I all the time. If my needs are satisfied, no other person's need matters. If I am at my best, I don't care what happens to the others. Others can go to hell. And so what we are understanding from this is that there is no way that as a human we may want to think that life can be limited just around us as individuals, but especially within the African context, we live in a collective. We have a communal spirit where we understand that we live in a fraternity, in a brotherhood, which should seek for the best for everybody and anybody at every time. And so this is the propagation of Martin Buber, who looks at us connecting to a bigger crowd of or bigger cloud of witnesses who are other humans. So yeah, let's begin to wonder aloud, even as we are taking this part of the journey, to ask what drives people sometimes to be very egocentric. What are those things that may make people to become egocentric, that may cause them not to be able to think that they could be able to connect with the with the larger collective. Yeah.
Okay, we can be looking at this from different perspectives. We can see this from the genetical aspect, because some of these are transferred from parents to offspring, from grandparents to children. Genetic predisposition has a part to play in this. We will also look at childhood traumas, childhood events that were not good and actually tend to shape somebody to be thinking in this light. Talking about the environment, another aspect is what comes from the environment can actually shape you to begin to believe that this is how life is supposed to be. You should just concentrate on yourself and yourself alone. So in a global term, this aspect comes from genetics, a child upbringing, the environment. These are all the collections of things that will either make a child to believe in the universal oneness, which is I thou, or in I it, which is more egocentric.
Yeah, so this is just telling us that even the nature nurture process for every child's upbringing could actually be able to take this individual, could propel this individual to that space where they may become a little bit insecure around other people. Sometimes this may be coming as a result of insecurity. Sometimes this may be coming because you have always known that you have been made to know that you are the most important person, and so your needs must be met above every other person's need, which is a negative reinforcement that sometimes may come in one part of your life or another. It could be because in growing up you were deprived of the opportunity to share with others, and so you have learned, is a learned behavior which now is actually manifesting, or it's actually rolling out in an individual's life. And here today, we are trying to look at how do you feel when you discover that it is almost always about you. We have these kinds of people in the family settings. We have them the job sites where it is almost always about them. If they're satisfied, there's no need for any other person to complain. We have them in our friendship circles. People are in friendship where it is almost going to be about them. And there's a photo that I grew up seeing where you see a man carrying an elephant on the head, holding a tiger by the hand, struggling with a bear or something, and then somebody is struggling to pick up a cricket that was around him, and he is fighting that individual from picking that cricket. Those are the kinds of signs that we have to know that people are really egocentric, because the question is, when you have it all to yourself, how do you feel? You may not even think it's a problem because you've been blinded. You've been blinded. Your flaws, your disorders, your personality disorders have blinded you to the point where you are unable to even connect with the reality of the world around you. You are unable to feel for other people, and so you have that spirit of being entitled. You have that spirit of being greater than every other person, and all of those. But here today we want to twist that story, because we are seeing that even in all of those things, it is said you can have the whole world, but if you cannot be able to find your soul, which is your essence, then something is wrong with you. So we want to change that narrative today for those who may be suffering from this kind of approach, to start looking at the bigger picture of I am because you are. You need me and I need you. we can be able to relate from this perspective.
Yes. Looking at it, we are going to be putting in a lot of um, techniques and steps to get to where we are. And what you really have to do is to just be very intentional as you listen. Try to implement some of the things we're going to be doing. Just follow up, and I know with time you'll be able to remember some of these things. Understanding that we talking about Buba, we are talking about gratitude for connection and relationships that nourish us. Our opening grounding is that you center yourself. Just center yourself. If you are sitting, you sit well and make sure that your feet are on the floor, flat on the floor, your hands on your laps, and then your spine should be straight. If you are maybe lying on the bed, make sure that you are lying well. So breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in again. Breathe out. Now you're going to breathe in again, but as you breathe in, think of someone who has blessed your life with love, kindness, support, understanding, and just feel grateful for for those opportunities. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now you can still go on again. While you are breathing, visualize that person and with everything that has happened and feel really good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now you can gently can open your eyes right now. Let's begin to, let's get to work. Connection, relationship is, I can say, is the most important thing, is very paramount because we cannot live as islands. We are social beings and we should be able to understand how our relationships have been of help to us and feel grateful for those relationships that has nurtured us and even those that did not or did not nurture us. And in this light, we're going to be looking at it in this way. When you are grateful because of a good relationship, you enhance and empower that relationship to become stronger again. When you are grateful, even because of a relationship that did not turn out very well, you are able to pick out something, just a single item from that relationship to be grateful for, it is going to increase. There is an idea that whatever you are grateful for multiplies. Whatever you are not grateful for is taken away from you. So it is a point we are bringing to you right now that you have to look back at the relationship that actually nurtured you, at the relationships that actually brought good things in your life, and really be grateful. You have to count these things because most often we always like miss it out because we're looking, expecting somebody to give us something bigger than what we received. Somebody who just gave you a single rose flower during the course of the year, gave it out of love. You should be thinking about those kinds of relationships to feel grateful. In all of these, gratitude for relationship goes a long way to beautify you. It causes you to become younger, to become youthful, because most often the things that keeps us bound is because we don't appreciate the relationships we have. We instead hold a lot of grudges against those we actually interact with. Gradually, I'll be taking you on a reflection journey whereby you are going to be able to reflect more and more for this gratitude to actually stir you up and cause you to become that person, that cherished relationship. Now, today, give thanks for the people who see you. Because if you look at last year, you will discover that there were some people who did not see you at all. And then there were some people who noticed everything about you. Be grateful for these people. Give thanks to those who understand you. If you look back, you will pick these people. The people who listen when you need to speak. You have to give thanks to those people. The mentors who guide your path. The friends who actually comforted you in terms of challenges, in terms of things that were not maybe comforting to you. The colleagues who actually supported you along the path of your career. There were some people who were there for you. Give thanks for those people. The divine presence that loves you without condition. Give thanks for this. And actually look for opportunities to be able to extend this thanksgiving in a note form. Writing somebody. Say, with all my heart, I am grateful for this and that you did for me. I am glad God placed you on my path for such a time as this. It will mean a lot. You channel this power of gratitude from you to those people. This is very important. And understand that relationships are sacred mirrors. They reflect our humanity back to us. What you give comes back to you multiplied. The good book tells us that when you give, God gives you back good measures, pressed down, shaken together. This applies with gratitude. When you do it, it comes back to you. And I know you are listening and you are taking this, and I know that you're going to implement it. Thank you for actually following and making sure that you appreciate those in your relationship who actually supported you.
Yeah, thank you so very much. And as you talk, I'm trying to reflect on last year's journey. I can remember vividly how many people I was able to personally reach out to them in gratitude for their presence in my life. And in that process, I started seeing a lot more that people did to me, because sometimes you may just quickly just look at and say, that little thing that this person did, what did he really do? But when I began reflecting and writing, I was amazed at the wealth of information that I had concerning those individuals and what they did to me. It did not end on me alone, because by the time I sent to them, they were like, wow, all this about me. And I'm like, yeah, about you, because truly this is who you are to me. You may even be surprised. And so it's to let us know, truly, like you're saying, that relationships are a sacred mirror, because at the time you are able to reflect on people who they are to you, that time it's an illumination to them to start thinking. And so if we were to have this kind of relationship examination and appreciation from time to time, I'm sure everybody would want to become the better version of themselves, even as they journey to support other people. So this takes us to connecting back with nature and seeing what this form of gratitude would look like within within our immediate environment. And the first example, or the first aspect of nature we want to actually look at, would be the bees. Bees pollinate flowers. And it's amazing that when bees are struggling to get their own food, they are actually multiplying life. They are supporting multiplication processes. And that's to let you know that people who connect with us, some of them may seem not to be who we wanted, but they may be the people who may come to beautify our lives. So it's important to see them even through the eyes of the bees. We look at the forest that communicates on the ground. Look at the forest that communicates on the ground. Can you imagine that through the forest, they are tapping from the waters and they are causing water to move to the atmosphere to bring us rain. Do you see how they are supporting us? They do so freely and voluntarily without any reservation. Even in that, they are releasing the carbon dioxide, they are releasing the oxygen which we need, while they take up what we exhale in the form of carbon dioxide. And so when you look at this kind of a relationship, you see that it is a relationship that depends one on another. And if we were to look at our lives like that, around the people we work with on a daily and all of that, it helps us to start seeing how we can synchronize with others and make more meaning out of life. Let us look at the rivers. The rivers are able to feed the oceans. The oceans are because the rivers are, because the little streams are. And so we should be asking ourselves the questions: who are those people who may look very insignificant, but because of them, your life is getting better? I think this takes me to the farmers. Sometimes we think that, oh, farmers are the peasants, they are the low class and all of that. But if they were not there, what quantity of food, what guarantee do you have to have 3 square meals a day? We should be thankful for all of these things. Let us look at the wind that carries seeds to sow in new soils. Yeah, sometimes we are unable to do that, but you can just be amazed that you are walking maybe in a dry patch of land, and then you see one tree with some fruit. You will wonder how that fruit ever got to that space. The wind did that in preparation for you on your journey in life. You meet even an oasis in the desert. You meet a water point where they seem not to be. That is us connecting. And that is how it is sometimes when you look at some people and you're wondering, what can they offer me? Just at the time when you may have been thinking that they can't offer you anything, they could be just one little thing that came from them to change the narrative of your life. And so there is no way we just want to think that we can be all sufficient. Let us look again at life through all these interconnections, the humans, nature, and all. So you see that we are one big ecosystem where everyone depends on each other. And so we are learning from nature to know that we can't live like an island. And so we are going to get back to look at our guided inquiry, where we're going to be asking very deep personal questions. And I ask you to really be quiet and take time to reflect on these questions so that it can be able to help you make meaning and see whom you're reaching out to in this season. Who are the either relationships in my life? Count them, find them. How can I be more present how can I be more present to the people I love? Learn their love languages. People don't have the same kind of love language. Find their love languages and be able to express it to them just the way that they need What relationships nourish my soul? As you give to others, others give unto you. You know, when the good book says, give and it shall be given unto you, it didn't say, give to me and I'm going to give back to you. It said, give. That's your job, to give. And you don't know where it's going to come back to you. So it's important that while you're giving to other people, begin to search around you to see those people whose presence have made a whole world of difference in your life. You would want to know those people. Where am I being invited into deeper connections with others, with nature, and even with the divine? You know, for our lives, we have our weaknesses. We have those dark spots in our lives where we need somebody to always feed in. And it's always important that when you see those spots in your life, that is where you may want to put your focus. And like this question is asking you, if you find those spots in your life, don't hesitate to know that you have to focus on them. Give that spot the energy it needs so that it can transform to become the better thing that you want, or the better connection. How many times have you felt that you could go and just embrace a tree? How many times have you felt that you could just walk along the beach without even thinking to catch the fish, just to see it in its beauty. How many times have you thought in your mind that you could see a baby and you just embrace this baby to feel the warmth of this child, so that you can feel connected even to, you know, the purer form of energy, because children are one of the purest. And so these are the very little questions that we may want to ask ourselves as we are trying to connect with ourselves and connect with others, and as we are trying to see how we can nourish and pour out in the lives of other people. I'm sure the techniques to help us get to this will
Wow.
be very good at this point.
Yes, 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 yes. As you're listening, you can get it that she's asking who, where, what, and these are the things that we are supposed to take with us. You don't go to ask why, because why is taking you back, taking you to the past. And gratitude has come to make you feel the moment, lived in the moment. Right now, we move to the point of power. Remember that point of power is always in the now. Now, place your hand on your heart and you say this after me. Today, I open myself to connection. Love finds me. Support reaches me. I am not alone. I am part of a living web of care. Now, wrap your arms around your body in a gentle self hug and say, I welcome love. I welcome support. Now, this activity will help you to release oxytocin, which is the feeling good hormone. So it will help you feel like you belong. It will give you actually the emotional warmth.
I can feel it and I can hear you loud and clear. And so this is taking us to the end of today's podcast. I don't know what you thought about today, but we need to hear you in our comments. Please like, share, and comment so that we will be able to reach other people and help them to be grateful for the relationships and connectivity. Remember, we have a book which is able to help you to get deeper understanding as we get to this journey. And that book is available with the title The Healing Power of Gratitude from a Clinical Perspective. So keep your own copy safe and buy and share with other people so that together gratitude will go round. And until we meet in our next edition, we are letting you know that you can always reach us at 677-690600 and 677-660215. This way we can connect with you and have a better connection. Have a great day ahead of you and love you all. Goodbye. Theo, see you
Bye-bye
in our
to you.
next edition.
Yes, see you in our next edition.
Bye.